All right, I'll call this meeting of the planning board of Village of Cold Spring to order. Would anyone like to add or modify items to the agenda? Okay.
Nope.
All right, let's jump into, we have 2 meeting minutes to review. Oh, actually, I guess, did I add both of these? I wasn't sure actually. Oh, I have them both on, great. I wasn't sure if they got adopted last week, so. So let's do the 12th first, I guess. Me, Ben, Hillary, and Kevin were at this one.
I will say that it's very interesting that the on 133, 135, the applicant hopes to open a radiology and beauty bar business in the village. That's not what the applicant has opened. I'm quite serious. I'm being quite serious.
This is radiology?
I want to push this up to the code.
Okay, would you like your comment officially recorded?
Yes, please.
I don't remember radiology. I remember
I thought it was
reflexology.
reflex.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think that's just a typo.
So you would still,
I think it's pretty close
Okay.
for what it's
All right.
worth.
All right, let me stand down.
okay, my fault.
I would agree with you if they had applied for radiology.
I'm still.
It's a curious implementation.
It's choose.
Yeah, I don't know if the signage is within whatever, because they have the neon and everything up, so, I mean, I don't know if they're enforcing that, but.
Hello.
They've been turning it on?
Yeah,
Hey everyone, sorry I was running a few minutes late.
Hi.
Hey, Jonathan.
yeah, the open part is,
Well, I see it not that often, it's not right across from me, but it's there every time I walk down the street.
John, you didn't miss anything. We're just reviewing the minutes from the 12th of September.
Perfect.
And if you have a moment, Jesse,
Yeah. Which one was that for?
72. Main Street.
72 Main. Okay, great.
Mhm.
And they're all
Yes,
and the village approved their parking waiver?
good question. Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay. I would think so. I sent it over a really long time ago now, even though I sent it over late. It was last year, right? When I sent it over?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if you're more comfortable actually getting a confirmed answer, which I probably recommend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I probably should just given it's one of the conditions. And because that's generally what I do is I might go through the resolution and check that all the conditions are met, because I will have forgotten whatever the conditions were when we adopted. But I can always walk over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Did you want to try the AI recording?
Why not?
I mean, It's just clicking a button, assuming it's enabled for the account.
Oh,
Yeah. Start summary.
well, look at you.
So, I think Jonathan, when we talked about this before, we agreed that it would not be used as a record of the meeting, but it could be used as a guide for, checking the minutes,
Right.
when they're being created.
Right, a point of reference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. And for what it's worth, I've used these at work. They are like shockingly good. So I think they will help you out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Now, Jonathan, when you remember when we did the 60s Belvedere, uh, did we fully waive the recreation space requirement, or did we waive in lieu of payment? Didn't they end up having to pay a fee for it?
yes, I believe that's my recollection, is they did have to pay a fee. Whether they did that or not, I'm not sure. I don't think I ever heard.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Okay,
So maybe I'll amend this just to say motion to waive the subdivision requirement of the record space in lieu of, or with payment in lieu of, something like that. Have they just not been turning on the outside light at night
What else I know?
for the beauty bar? Because the light that,
On the driveway?
yeah,
No, I haven't seen it.
I think, wasn't it, there was a.
it was on,
two?
and it was basically a spotlight,
Yeah,
which is not to code.
Yeah.
no,
And
I haven't
it's still,
seen it.
I think it's still installed there, but I just assume we're not turning it on.
I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds like you're right, I mean.
Yeah.
Should we walk over there?
I can take a look on the way home.
Do a field trip.
Yeah.
It might be worth someone, if someone does walk by there.
Yeah, I
has
walk
a
right
note,
by it.
It might be worth noting if they are both open and the light is not on. Since that was one of the things that we were concerned about. All right, I think the folks are okay with the two edits I suggested. I'm good with this.
I move to accept the September 12th minutes with the two edits made by our chairperson.
I second.
In favor?
Aye.
Oh, yeah, you abstained.
I was.
All right. There you go.
Thank you.
There's two
Thank you.
modifications on there. Let me know if I need my chicken for that.
Not too bad.
This is the Henry Hillary.
Maybe we could reword the comment. Asked about having online space to archive older applications, just to make sure that people are clear as to what I was asking.
Can you, where do you want to change?
I said, having online space to archive older applications.
Space. Jonathan, it looks like we had to amend it, the following. Uh, to add the note about the fee schedule.
Oh, that's right.
I think we just straight waived it originally.
Yeah, I think it probably, with everything else, probably just got missed.
We didn't try it.
We didn't in the original resolution, and then the following meeting, we amended it, so
To add it in.
So,
we had to add it in, yeah.
do you wanna,
So this, yeah, the first edition is no longer relevant.
It's set by the trustees, right?
Yeah. I think it's actually in the master fee schedule.
Right. Yeah, it's, the rec fees are one of those things where it's good to have it as a condition, but it is part of the code, so it's not really necessary for the board to impose it as a condition.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, the thing is, you know, it's like one of those things, if you don't call out, it's easy for everyone to do their very narrow job and no one to realize that it was missed.
Exactly.
Inside one of those.
Yeah.
so, let's pretend for, you don't want this part in the
Yeah,
memo.
yeah.
Okay.
Other ones.
If I want to add questions, but I don't have the questions, I'm running from my computer and write some questions.
Or we can write them collaboratively, or we can write them on a piece of paper and I can type them in.
The questions that you sent earlier?
I didn't say any questions.
Oh,
I just got.
There were some amendments that I added in.
Like Monday, just tell me.
oh.
I can handle it. So, get a copy of the DGEIS here.
Oh, the physical book? Yeah, I can grab it. real quick.
So I should have one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why we have it here.
Jonathan, did you get the scoop from last night from John?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. I don't think you didn't miss much.
Yeah.
This one. Oh,
Thank you.
I'll take that. Do you mind if I do? You know, I just want to take a quick look at something. Oh, of course.
Well, I can make a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes of September 26th with the changes that have been noted by our chairperson. Billy?
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you.
Great. Let me share my screen up there so that we can all follow along. I do all my work on Google Drive, so I thought for this in particular, this would be useful because everyone's seen the previous draft and I read it last night for me to show, I basically made suggestions on my own draft, so it was called out what I had changed since last night. Let me share it. Zoom.
I know what you're talking about. I did send some edited changes. You're right. Sorry.
Would you
for
like a
that.
printout of
No.
I-
You can go-
yeah, I
I'll
ma-
add some questions though.
Yeah.
No more questions. I'll just add edits to the document.
All right, I think everybody can see this.
that? Let me see if I can try to make it bigger. Oh dear.
I can probably make it a little bigger on my
You got it?
screen.
Ooh, immersive.
Right?
What the heck is
dear.
immersive?
Oh, no, okay.
Ah,
There, is that, try,
Which,
uh, there you go,
ooh.
that's good.
right.
Okay, so, everyone, either read or heard the draft that I gave last night. I made a couple of changes, directionally, given the feedback last night, and I wanted to run through it with everybody before we move on to the questions. And then there's
Stop
a,
moving it so I can read it.
sorry. I'm too fidgety as a person. I can do the full screen too.
Cold Spring, not Sold Spring.
Oh,
Cynical Freudian slip. Uh, okay, so the gist of this initial change is basically that, I think like, while I think I disagree with, I think I disagree with the detail of Eliza's suggestion about adding in all the things that people like about the Fjord Trail. I do kind of acknowledge it directionally as like, for other projects like the deli and the gym and other things like that, we have tried to note generally whether we thought the concept was a beneficial one or not. And then a lot of the implementation details were ones we dug into about whether we thought, this implementation or that implementation was good, or they need to do more investigation on X and Y. So this was a kind of a nod that in concept, the project offers a phenomenal recreational resource for the residents of Cold Spring. Does anyone feel?
I totally agree with you. And I guess I would add to that, and I was, one of the reasons why, oh, that's where my pen went. Okay, that in the summary, this document is talking about all the wonders, not that I'm disagreeing with it, but all the wonders of the project. So I don't see why we have to, what the purpose would be to regurgitate. And I would go with what you said, that we're looking for vulnerabilities. We're looking for the gaps in the DGIS. That's
Yeah,
all.
and usually our position is one where we're evaluating projects that are legally allowed anyway. And so it's useful to note, I think, the ways in which a project is aligned with the village.
Mhm.
And the interest, but I don't think in any application, we don't really dwell on those things very long.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're definitely traffic and moving humans through and so forth. I mean, there are definite obvious benefits and needs that the village has. But the basis to our argument falls apart quickly, because it's like, here's the reason is, or not necessarily. Yes, you could include favorable public comment, but then you'd have to also include negative public comment as well, right?
Well, I don't think I just.
And that's
yeah.
not our role, right?
Yeah.
So our role is just to examine this. It's just,
Yeah.
our role is simply just to.
And the function of the public, and the function of the public comment for us as a board is to aid our thinking and digestion and versus the village board might be in a more representative role where they want to do synthesis and representation at the same time.
I always saw my job is to examine this.
Yeah, for sure. Does anyone object to adding this sentence in?
No.
Yeah.
And then the other changes are just to kind of make it flow with what was there. basically having a however, and then raises several concerns that could substantially undermine that conceptual value, so. And that's, more this, yeah. I think if that paragraph, that line break will go away when I accept this, but, I added your change in language about the height here.
Okay, thanks.
Basically been added more, a little bit more detail, to the feet, measurement. Everyone cool with that?
Yeah,
This is the one that I think we need to revise for clarity. It has to do with, I'm still trying to figure out exactly like, what is the name of the park that is where the bandstand is?
Mayor's Park.
No,
No,
you're
maybe
talking,
it's also
you're
down-
talking about the gazebo, right?
Yeah.
Right, I just think that's,
I think that's the dock.
well, yes, it-
Dockside?
no, it's not
That's
dockside, it's called.
why I was confused, yeah.
I call it the dock.
The dock?
The
No,
dock.
well, I would say.
It doesn't have a name on Google Maps, and I've always, I feel like people maybe clearly incorrectly and lazily referred to the area as dockside.
I do.
No, that's not dockside, right?
No.
It's-
Jonathan, do you know the name of that by chance?
I don't, I only know it as the gazebo.
That's what everyone calls it, the gazebo.
Yeah.
They don't even call it the pier, they don't call it
Yeah.
the.
Let me go on
they
the
just say
village's
They say the
website.
gazebo, and if you get a concert, they say there's a concert down at the gazebo. Santa Claus is gonna be down at the gazebo. It's always referred to, from what I know, and Ben might be able to know, he's been here as long as I have. It's always been known as the gazebo
Yeah.
to me.
How
whenever I
do
hear-
people not get confused with the other gazebo that's by the Depot restaurant? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Oh, the one next to the ticket office?
yeah, I don't know,
It's
well.
bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
big.
was-
You're gonna have,
more of a-
the-
it's
you're
more of
gonna
a
have a
location.
the gazebo, then it has to be the bigger.
So that's what I think the townspeople know it is the gazebo, that area.
Okay,
That's, for better or worse, that's what I think it's known as.
I'm not sure if I'm looking at the correct thing. The
Looks
property-
like on the village's website, it's referred to as the bandstand.
The bandstand. Okay, yep, there you go.
okay. All right, well, I think that like Laura's comments last night highlighted, we should try to make the language more precise about their dockside has no trash cans. Has no trash service.
Mhm.
Currently visitors to that use the trash cans
At the info.
at the bandstand,
Oh, right.
or whatever we're calling that park.
Yeah.
The bandstand park, and they are often overflowing, which is what we're referring to here. So I think I just need the group's help to reword this in a way that reflects that distinction, because I think right now it's misleading a bit.
I would even just say, instead of trash overflows, instead of just dockside, I would just say Lower Main trash
Yeah,
cans
I
every
was thinking
weekend.
Lower Main.
And if we just go and say Lower Main, that encompasses everything, and it's
I was thinking public trash cans in Lower Main.
right, Lower Main is really where I mean, you have Moo-Moo's, which contributes a great deal. There's just tons of ice cream refuge left over there in those trash cans.
Public trash can. Overflow. Oh. Main Street public trash cans overflow every weekend in the spring, summer, and fall. Uh, in part,
I would.
due to dockside visitorship.
Visitation, maybe.
Seeing Cynic Hudson currently relies on the village for trash pickup.
Jonathan?
It's going.
Second.
Then, but that is true, since I'd say Scenic Hudson currently relies on the village trash pickup for Dockside Park, right?
Well,
Or at Dockside Park, yeah. I don't know if
well,
you'd say
they don't-
since.
They don't, it technically is not at Dockside Park because there is no trash at Dockside
Right,
Park.
okay.
Scenic Hudson currently relies on the village, maintaining,
This is that area, right?
Yeah.
Area?
in the village for
Does Scenic Hudson
trash service.
pays us?
What's that?
Does Scenic Hudson pay us to run Royal over there?
No, that was, so you mean,
On down to Lower Main?
I don't think so. Because that's not their property.
Right,
Um,
I mean, does Scenic Hudson even know what's going on? Since there are no trash cans in Dockside Park. And they're not writing us a check.
Yeah.
So,
let me read this start to
how
finish.
about something about the impact of people visiting Dockside Park falls on the village for trash pickup in the Lower Main area?
And then an increase in traffic to that area would
Right.
unduly burden the.
Yeah, and this is only going to exacerbate that. Well, that's a good word. I can't even spell it. It's a good word.
All right, so. Since. Since. Dockside. Side. There's. Currently rely on. And. He. And. Side. Enter. Will. Exacerbate.
Exacerbate.
Yes, CRBATE.
It looks like it corrected it.
Google. Exacerbate,
Now, I will say that my recollection at the data review meetings is that they said they were going to do their own trash pickup.
yeah, within Dockside. Within Dockside.
Right,
In the
right,
area,
right.
Lower Main.
So,
is
right.
gonna be unduly.
And exacerbate.
But I also have like the issue when people get off the train. They're there at the information booth. There are the restrooms there that are
Right,
sad.
right.
There's the trash that is sad. And I thought it might be important to mention that somewhere, but
Yeah, I mean, it's the trash all throughout the village that's affected by the tourism.
Lower, how about, Lower Main Street.
But in particular, Lower Main Street gets
Lower Main Street, public restroom, available every weekend, in the spring, summer, fall, in part to the Dockside visitation. Since Dockside visitors currently line the village for trash service to the area, the Dockside connector will exacerbate. The issue. usage.
Not enough for people to share. Anybody want to cough drop?
No.
No? No? No?
Okay.
Okay, all right. I didn't ask. I bet if I had cupcakes, you'd all want one.
Let me read it to everyone, to see what you think. Lower Main Street public trash cans overflow every weekend in the spring, summer, and fall, in part due to dockside visitation. Since dockside visitors currently rely on the village, will be for trash service to the area, and the dockside connector will exacerbate the area's general need for trash collection. We would expect HHFT to include some offsetting measure to mitigate this burden on the village. This could include taking over trash management entirely or heavily subsidizing. Well, they're not gonna take over trash management entirely for the lower village, so maybe I'll take that out.
Oh, it can't hurt to ask, right?
Huh.
They're probably not gonna do any of
I was gonna say,
this.
yeah, you were just subsidizing village trash removal services, that could be, you know. I don't know if you have to say heavily subsidized, I would just say subsidizing, and that would
Yeah.
be. This could include,
That's the part.
yeah,
Let's see. Avoidance. Period.
maybe, and
We would expect, comma. This could include.
you could either say that this could include, or for example, subsidizing village trash.
How did everything go over last night?
I think I was very well received, I think, on the whole. I think, Aaron and Eliza had some, more pointed feedback, but I think even for them,
It was minimal.
yeah, I think it was minimal, and, we got, some nice praise from the other village board members and, from the public afterwards, so, everybody should feel proud about the work that we've produced.
Jesse did an amazing job, personally. Crushed it. I think the document and the read was great. And then, there was, just everybody complimented the work that Jesse done, but the amount of work that had gone into it, the number of times we met. And please feel free to jump in if anybody disagrees with what I'm saying. And then the amount of, then the feedback was, generally, I think, positive from 3 of the trustees and just only gently questioning from 2 of the others.
Yeah.
I'd give it like an 8 or 9 out of 10.
Okay.
They were looking at it through the lens of the planning board and how we should be responding.
oh,
And I
okay.
think that they felt that it was appropriate, that
Okay.
all the points that we brought up, when they did have some comments, it was either to say, maybe you're leaning towards being a little bit too negative, but then we pushed back a tiny bit on that. And then the other one was some clarity in here that Jesse's, he's addressing now.
Yeah. Then this next one is another one of your suggestions. Construction noise is just to be acceptable at HHFT, yet the engineering assumptions are seemingly incorrect, as they are using over dry land sound absorption coefficients, while this project is happening over water and in front of a lagoon. Furthermore, the blah, 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 continues as it was.
Small edit.
What?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And that was my two edits. Okay.
All right, I just added some clarity down here because I think Aaron found it, he was a bit confused about what I was intending, which I can see. I was going for really pithy and impactful, and I think it landed confusingly, so I added a little bit of modifiers here as even in the best of circumstances, empathy by a developer cannot replace advocacy by a municipality.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
That makes it unambiguous what's intended there.
It's good, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, you spelled it out, and for them, as reading it, you
Yeah.
know, they're not part of our planning board process, so this will be easy for them to understand.
Here, at this end, Aaron made the comment that he felt that the final paragraph was political. That was really not I don't think it was our intent. It certainly wasn't my intent when I drafted it originally, and I think, but I thought perhaps, making it less pointedly addressed to residents of Coldstream might help, make it harder to interpret it in a political way. But I'm open to other suggestions if people think there are better ways to kind of get at that.
Yeah, I think just taking out that Cold Spring at the beginning really does mean that it's more a general thing that you're admitting that these are positives.
Yeah.
But you should have a say.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you hear that?
Yes, thank you.
And then similarly, here down here, I had a very like, that is not what we have here, period. And I wanted to, this sentence had been kind of in my head landing a little too hard for me, even before Aaron gave comment. And so I feel like it was just another opportunity to, say it's not what we have here if we're not allowed to fulfill our function.
Modify that.
Yeah.
And now where does this go?
Okay, so there's if we are, the next task is to get the questions nailed down, and Jonathan, we've been instructed to email. Actually, basically email the clerk and someone, I guess the point of contact with the state.
Mhm.
With the adopted comments. And my plan was that we basically submit what will be official non-draft comments. Probably needs to be on our letterhead though, right?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, so that's the thing I'll have to do here. And I think it sounds like we're all okay with the comments part of this. We also had a list of questions which I shared over email, and there's copies here. Some version of this will be included. I guess that do you have any thoughts or advice about, should we just tack them on at the end? Should it be a separate?
Like an appendix?
Yeah, I don't know, like, what do you feel like is the right way to communicate this? Just like as a single document?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know that the response is necessarily going to be any different. I don't know if you saw my email in response to Ben this afternoon. When the Fjord Trail folks respond to all the comments, they don't have to do it individually. They can give like a blanket response. So, maybe there's 10 comments that are all similar, so they'll issue one, somewhat generic response to all.
I think that's Well, I guess it depends on how you measure similarity, right?
Yeah.
Like if similar is that they're all about the fjord trail proposal, then
Right. Yeah.
but I guess like, if one is about the scenic view shed overlay and one is about the sound, like those seem different enough that they would merit different responses, right?
Well, yeah, I guess my point is more if, somebody else, a member of the public or the village board or somebody else makes a similar comment.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we don't know what those are, so I mean, I guess like for the avoidance of doubt, we should include them, or just not with the understanding that their responses will be in aggregate to all questions.
Right. You might get a response you're looking for, but it might be something that's fairly vague and doesn't
Sure.
totally address.
Well, that's on them, that's not on
Yeah.
us.
Yep.
So you think we should include it in the same document, though?
Yeah.
Uh, Um, I would like to not be here for an especially long time tonight.
Sure.
So, could someone lead a discussion about the questions while I put the letterhead on this?
Sure.
Okay.
I've got a proposal that I read the question into the minutes and then I type it up later and send it to you.
Your ones, because these have already been,
Yeah, so, well, these are already on the record.
I just have a couple of small edits in two of my questions, there's is a word missing.
So you
and
gotta
then it's
type these.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that if everyone wants to go through their own and say if they have any questions. Or
Yeah,
if
I
not,
was fine with mine.
Right, the only thing I have is two small comments, and then I'm good with mine.
Do any of our questions repeat?
I don't think it matters as much, because they might, but yeah, I guess we could edit, we might as well go down and we could edit one out or two, because I think I might have one that's similar.
I'm gonna let you do that
Yeah,
while
yeah,
I
do
do.
that, okay.
Are you going to have the planning board commentary that's gonna be at the top? But the letterhead's going to say Village of Cold Spring, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay,
I'm gonna
no,
port
no.
I'm gonna port the whole thing over,
Okay.
and I don't.
Read that.
Yeah, thanks.
Similar. I just reviewed mine, so if you wanted to take this, I have two things here, you reviewed yours? and
Yeah,
so-
I didn't see
Okay.
any typos and things.
Okay, so I'm just gonna leave mine as is.
Yeah,
I don't think we have to edit it to say if there's anything that's similar, because they're gonna get multiple ones, and if.
yeah, I mean,
not
they're
the
gonna
exact
get
same
them from
question.
everybody else. so-
Yeah, so, I mean, I should do this.
And if they have to work a little harder, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
you're not going,
shall I read out aloud now?
he's, yes,
Okay.
because we're
So
discussing.
so
that, yeah.
he's
Chairman wants us to discuss this.
Yeah.
he's working over there, so.
Yeah, sorry.
So these are just three basic questions. So from section 4H4, and village code requires noise limits be below 82 dBA decibels, which is a weighted at 50 feet. The effects of distance on noise. Why is there no allowance for the hard surfaces surrounding the construction work surfaces on noise, sound over water, sound over lagoon, sound reflection off the cliffs of Storm King Mountain? First question. Second question is, how many days and months of drilling and pile driving will developer commit to as a maximum? Little number of days and months, so.
Oh, days a month, okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I don't know how they could tell you when a project's gonna be done.
Well, no, that's the thing, so, they're probably not gonna tell us, but, but I wanna ask them. Question 3, and this is, going to the piece that's come up a number of times, and I just want to ask it again, is so chapter 4G, the scenic resources. This is the view shed from Mayor's Park at Fair Street facing west of the mountains. There is no mention of the raise in the trail above the MNR tracks up to 4 feet. There's no mention of the rear fence up to 12 feet. Will there be a raise in the deck or the fence on this view shed?
Mhm.
Will there be a raise? So So in that section of DGIS, they talk about like what the view's gonna look like. They mention nothing about it's a mystery. And John,
Do you feel like that's, we do make we make a nod to that in the comments?
I just, that's what I was sort of thinking about
Yeah.
last night when I was listening to Mr. Fink talk. I was like, I want to ask the question.
Yeah.
Because it's like this gaping hole. They're sort of saying it's an issue that I have with the DGIS. Is like they talk about like fence over here, and then they talk about fence like 25 pages later, but they don't. You know, they're talking about view sheds and so forth, but they don't bring up the fence at all consistently. So
Yeah.
like, so they'll, in other words, if you look at the fence, you look at the diagrams, it's like, oh, there's no fence. I'll look at this pretty picture of that.
You know, what was interesting is we had a comment online when we had our public comment, our public hearing. And someone, a woman said, oh, yes, but if you look here at this document, whatever that document was, she said, oh, it's got all of the information on the fencing. So my first thought, great, why is it not in here?
They, so what I was told was it was front and center and then it was taken down. So, and which I think meant it was front and center and then it was taken, and anyway, I'm not gonna comment on that. The,
Jonathan, a quick question, is this a memorandum that we're composing? Like, is there, or is it what would you call it? What is the document we're producing?
I think it's just your comments.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
Just
that's,
your
Comments
comments.
and questions?
yeah.
Just our comments.
I don't think you would be wrong to call it a memorandum if you want. But I think the secret term.
Memorandum of comments and questions,
Sure.
cover all bases.
so I'm gonna type these up and send them to you so that you can include them in the questions.
Those three that you just did, okay.
So you don't, so to save time tonight, so you don't have to type them up.
Everyone's good with those?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Great.
Just 2 notes for me, just,
Okay.
you just like to be evenly on the end of that, and then just have it in there, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, shoot.
Jonathan, what's their turnaround time on all this?
If I had to guess, a year or two.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but they need to respond in order to move forward, right?
Yeah. But yeah, and these things always take a long time because they really do have, even though the responses aren't always as thorough as you'd like, they really do have to go through and identify every single comment and
Wow.
correlate the response to it.
So, and the MTA, do they have to respond by March 4th also?
That I don't know. I would think so. But I know the MTA is a little bit different because they have to grant approvals, and the MTA is just its own beast, really.
Right, and they haven't seen, like, I would assume at some point they get plans.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Include these to the end. Let me reshare this. So. Shit. Okay. Okay, so
Ooh, look at that.
yeah, we got our nice planning board logo at the top.
Want to put a date on it?
Yes, good point.
Good idea. Yeah.
What is today?
Well, when it was adopted,
27th?
right? Yeah, February 27th.
I think it's today, though,
Yeah.
Huh?
That's today. Yeah, that's because we're adopting it today, right? So it's where it should be.
right?
Do you agree with that, Jonathan? Even though we're not setting it in until Monday or Tuesday, this should be dated when we adopt it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
February 27th, 2025. Would folks like me to read this in its entirety to
No.
adopt? Okay.
No, I did.
I read it a few times today.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, so this is what I presented yesterday with the modifications we discussed earlier today. Signed in good faith, Cold Spring Planning Board, each of us, and then we have additional questions here at the bottom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, terrific.
How does it look when it's printed? Does it get the little borders around it?
Each cell,
Yeah.
probably.
Okay. Otherwise, I would vote for a half space at the end, of each cell.
You know, I
Sometimes it's easiest to just grunt it
I mean,
out.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you're a coder, you
Yes.
don't wanna have to do this, but when it's like 20 times, you just say, well, if it's only 20 times, I should
Yeah.
probably just,
As opposed to writing a little
Do it.
loop and.
yeah.
Do you know what? It's so much easier to read for a senior citizen like me.
Well, I was concerned if they print it and those little lines being just for
Sure.
the building the thing. The other nice thing about grunting it out is it does give you,
Yeah.
2 seconds to sort of scan the text.
Yeah. And then Ben's gonna go at the bottom, right?
Yeah, and I'll put Ben's at the bottom. All right, so I think, can I get a motion to adopt, can I get a resolution to adopt the comments, the memorandum detailing the comments and questions of the planning board, amended, with, 3 questions that have been presented to the group tonight?
I'll make a motion to adopt the memorandum with the comments and the amendments that Ben is going to read into the minutes tonight, and we'll submit to you later.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is that good, Jonathan?
Yep, works for me.
Um, well done, everybody. I mean, seriously, like, great.
Well, I felt great last night when I heard them still hashing it out and
Yeah.
everything going over, it, and they had a lot more work to do. I think
Yeah.
we did it in a timely fashion, which is great that you scheduled that out from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah,
So
that
thank
was-
you.
That really worked out.
Made- So we were not panicked at the end.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, you guys did a very thorough and impressive job.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
That's all I got for tonight. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Hi, Jonathan.
All right, take care, everyone.
Thanks, Jonathan. Abigail, for the record, it's before 8 o'clock, so.
Oh, thank you.